everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of TulipTV. I'm Barbara Arnold, and the topic of the day, Sandy, the devastating storm in the United States and northern parts of Canada. It made me think of the waternoodramp in 1953 in the Netherlands. As some of you might know, there was a big flood that reached the Netherlands, Belgium, and England and Scotland. This flood was also caused by a big storm. Over 1,800 people died during this storm, and most of them were from the south of the Netherlands, from Zealand. The big difference with today's storm Sandy is that in those days, the radio stations didn't have any shows in the evening, and there was no reporting in the evening. The storm came late in the evening, early morning of the next day, and therefore nobody was prepared or even notified of this show. It took other radio stations that were illegal radio stations later in the days to come to let people know what was happening. So a big difference from today, where media has prepared everybody and everybody had a chance to go away. Still, it was very devastating. And here's what's coming up next on TulipTV.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad. Canada to Leave is the online community for the Dutch living in Canada and the Canadians living in the Netherlands. Canada to Leave, wherever you live.
In the Thornhill Community Centre, and we're talking to a very special guest. Sinterklaas has come all the way from Spain to Toronto. Sinterklaas, how many times have you been to Toronto already?
Oh, so many times. I've met children here that are already in their 40s and 50s, and I remember it. For more than 50 years I've been coming here in Thornhill.
How many kids were there today? Did you count them?
Oh, there were so many of them. I have no idea, but there must have been close to 300.
And did they sing for you?
They were all singing. They had the Dutch classes here. They studied, they learned how to sing in Dutch, which was wonderful. And they just had a wonderful time. And all these volunteers that helped me here makes it so easy for me to come and visit.
You know, I've come all the way from Vancouver to see you, Sinterklaas. And are you coming to Vancouver this year?
Definitely, I'm going to be coming to Vancouver. Sinterklaas visits everywhere, all the children, and I will be there.
Okay, we're talking to Wilmar Kortleven, and Wilmar lives here in Toronto, and he is the chairman of Dutch Treat. And Dutch Treat is an organization we may not have heard of in Vancouver, but we'd like to hear a little bit more about it. So, could you tell us about it, Wilmar?
We're basically a Dutch social club. We organize events around national holidays, social events. We have a monthly pub night or a ball in Dutch. We bring out a newsletter, so we work together with all the other clubs here in Toronto, and we try and advertise the events that they're doing as well.
Okay, and how many members do you have?
We work predominantly by email. We are for a free membership organization. We always say that it appeals to the Dutch. I can say that in Dutch. So we're a free membership organization. We do everything by email, and currently we have about 1,500 people on our email list.
Wow, 1,500. And is that in the Greater Toronto area, or is that wider?
No, it's Toronto and the Greater Toronto. It's Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. Some people like to stay informed about what we do here in Toronto, so they sign up as well.
We're talking to G. Spaans, and G is the chairman of the Netherlands Bazaar. Could you tell me briefly what is the Netherlands Bazaar, what's its purpose, and how does it work?
Okay, we started actually, not me obviously, but we started in 1954. There was a large fire, and people were in real financial and food, whatever difficulties. So that's how it all started, and then there was a little bit left, money, and then they started the Netherlands Bazaar. And the first one was held, say, 1959. And then after that, every 2 years. And what we do, the total amount raised, not only at the Netherlands Bazaar, but also in the 2 years prior to the next bazaar, goes totally to needy families of Dutch descent in the province of Ontario.
Yeah, and how do you find those families that are in need?
We make a lot of advertisement. We never look at last year's list. They have to fill out a form, a contact person, not for yourself, obviously, and we double check everything.
Okay, so we're sure it goes to people who really need it.
Definitely, yes.
So, and the Netherlands Bazaar is every 2 years, right?
2 years.
So, and it wasn't this year, so the next one is going to be?
October the 5th in 2013.
And if people want to donate, where can they donate their money? Is there a website that they can look up?
Yes, it's www.netherlandsbazaar.com.
www.netherlandsbazaar.com.
Yeah.
Go to the website and find out more about the organization. If you're interested in donating money, you know where to find G.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad.
Have you ever dreamed of working in the television industry? Why not become an intern for TulipTV? For more information, please visit tuliptv.com and see the contact page. We look forward to working with you.
Still in Thornhill Community Centre, and we're talking to Annemarie Lepel, and she is a Dutch teacher here in Toronto. Annemarie, you teach Dutch lessons to what ages?
The kids in my class are from grade 2 to grade 8. And there's a parallel class, that is the kids from kindergarten to the time they can read and write.
And who organizes those Dutch classes?
They are held under the auspicious. Pardon, dat kan je eruit editen, hè?
Ja hoor.
The Toronto District School Board organizes the classes. There are every Saturday classes, 2.5 hours long. They're, in our case, from 9 to 11:30.
And are you the only one teaching those classes?
No. There's my colleague Bert van Hooyen teaches the younger kids. I teach the older kids.
And why are these kids wanting to learn Dutch? I mean, it's a beautiful language, but is there another motive for them to take the lessons?
One of the best motivations is to be able to communicate with grandparents or with other relatives in Holland. That is in the case of where people are not there. Then there is another important one for parents to enroll their kids, is that if they know they have to return to Holland because they're here for work for 1 year or 2 years, that they are worried sick that the kids will be held back in Holland on return. And it's very important that they keep their Dutch skills up so that they can continue school in Holland when they return to Holland to live.
And how much does it cost to enroll your kids in those classes?
Well, there is no cost because the Toronto School Board provides the classes. The cost that parents have is $20 per child per year. That's 30 classes. That's for material only. And if there is a problem with the finances, then the board can actually allow you to pay only half.
Okay, and finally, I think, is there a website or where people can find some more information? If people are watching this maybe on YouTube who live in Toronto, didn't know about this yet?
The best way to find out is through the Dutch Treat. That is a website that has a website, and the information on Dutch classes, both for children and for adults, is on that, and it will show you links on how to register and where the classes are being held.
We're talking to Martin van Denzen, and Martin talked to me this morning. He does the Dutch radio show here in Toronto. And Martin, could you tell me a little bit about the show?
Well, I started in 1998 to do the radio show from out of Oakville. I had an opportunity to do this and I tried it, and I'd never been on radio before. And as they say, it is now 14 years later and I'm still doing it. So besides all my other volunteer work, I'm also president of the Dutch Canadian Association. I'm on the board of directors with the DUCA and a full-time volunteer. It's a good thing I'm retired.
That's definitely true. Hey, the Dutch Canadian Association put on this in the class party. Is that right?
Yes, we organize it, but our DUCA credit union, they sponsor it.
Tell me a bit about DUCA, because back in Vancouver, we don't have a Dutch credit union.
No, but British Columbia is very well known for the credit union movement. We have our DUCA credit union. It is pretty well the largest one here in Ontario. We're very proud of it. We're 1.4 billion in assets, and we're growing, and we're still going strong. And of course, and organizing things in the community. With a group of people that we have, we do our best to keep our heritage alive, and of course the Sinterklaas is the highlight of the year, and it's all. We never know how many people come, but you've seen it at first hand. When Sinterklaas talks to the children, he always asks how did they like the puppet show, and same as last year, is a glowing report. They just love it, and apparently this man really has the tendency to involve the kids in the show. You saw it, Tom, so you should.
It was a wonderful show. No, I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I came out here. Back to the radio program, where can people hear the program?
On the internet, of course. It's on the internet. You can listen to it live every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 9:30. That is our time here in Ontario.
What's the website?
The website is www.dutchtouchradio.com. DutchTouchRadio.com. It's always, the program is on. It stays on there all the old programs are on there. And of course, if they want to listen to it live, they can go to www.cjmr1320.ca.
cjmr1320.ca to listen to it live, but if you want to hear the program after it's been recorded, you go to dutchtouchradio.com.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad. Canada to Leave is the online community for the Dutch living in Canada and the Canadians living in the Netherlands. Canada to Leave, wherever you live.
Have you ever dreamed of working in the television industry? Why not become an intern for TulipTV? For more information, please visit TulipTV.com and see the contact page. We look forward to working with you.
An honor and a pleasure for Lighthouse to be co-hosting this event with the Consul General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Vancouver. I had the pleasure of meeting the speakers earlier today, and I think you will all be very interested and excited by what they're going to be talking about later today.
Hi, I'm Ir.Jan Westra. I work for a Dutch company called Priva, which is near Delft, near The Hague, and I work over there. I'm a Dutchman, as you might hear from what I'm saying. Priva is a company involved in greenhouse automation and in building automation controls. We're already 50 years in the market in greenhouse automation, and now we're here together with my Toronto colleague to find out what's the market in Vancouver, in Greater BC, to find out what can we do in building automation. We think people here are much more energy aware, much more sustainability aware than in other parts of the US and Canada.
Hello, my name is Paul Vosbeck. I'm the private sector lead on a public-private partnership called Orange Goes Green. And Orange Goes Green is a public-private partnership built around 6 themes. The themes are renewable energy, generation, bio-based economy, energy efficiency, green building, energy storage, smart grid, smart city, and e-mobility. What we're doing with Orange Goes Green is we are bringing together various groups, partner groups, member groups. The first group, the core cluster, is a group of Dutch companies that are all specializing in one area or the other of sustainable energy or sustainability. We're setting this all up to create business opportunities for all those partners involved. So the universities, the businesses from the Netherlands, the businesses from North America, we want to bring them all together around transactional agreements. And the reason we're doing that is because we believe that once companies actually come to the United States and demonstrate their technologies or solutions in a real practical live case, that's when you really have landed in this market. And that's what Orange Goes Green is here to do.
Well, my name is Arno Spelt. I'm responsible for the business development of Priva North America. And for the last 4 days we have been here in Vancouver, basically creating a network, talking with a lot of companies acting in sustainability, creating awareness of what Priva is doing on the sustainable front, creating intelligent buildings. Sustainability is not only about saving energy, due to the fact that energy is rather cheap in British Columbia, but creating a sustainable environment is also creating the best living and working environment where people can be more productive because their living and working environment is way better controlled based on temperature or pollution in their building, basically making a happy environment for people to live in.
The seminar didn't stand on itself. It is part of a network that was created, that was launched the 19th of September this year, simultaneously in the Netherlands and in Canada. There's a whole story behind. Basically, it's about the initiative of Professor Anke van Hal of Nijrode and Technical University in Delft. And she was invited by us at one of the events we organized together with the Canadian Embassy in The Hague as a guest speaker. And she was inspired by a lot of events before, and she also had been here in Vancouver at the famous Granville Island. And she thought this is a jewel of a neighborhood, and this is something special we also should learn about in the Netherlands. And also the other way around, city planners from Vancouver, from the city of Vancouver, went to the Netherlands and were impressed by our neighborhoods in Rotterdam and Amsterdam. We have big expectations of this network because this is just one of the activities. Many more are scheduled, like the Buildex here in Vancouver next year, but also in other cities of Canada. And we look forward to a very nice cooperation between Canada and the Netherlands in this sector.
program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad.
So, the Calgary Stampede has 7,000 people working on this. 2,000 of those are volunteers like myself. And this is what we do. We are very Calgary. I grew up in this town. This is my town. We volunteer. The 88 Olympics, that was another fun event that was successful because of the volunteerism of this city. And it's great. You can go to the suburbs and you can go to the bank, you can go to the Chinese food restaurant, you can go to the tandoori hut, and there's going to be barn board, bales of straw, people are in jeans and cowboy hats and shirts, even if they're new Canadians or if they're multiple generation Canadians, but they're hanging out in those places. The banks, they're all the same. This whole city comes alive.
So the purpose of this thing is to destroy the hat in the most creative way you can. You can stomp on it, you can tear it, you can chew. You get 30 seconds to do it. And then we'll get Chris, our chair, to judge who the winner was. So we do this every day, and then tomorrow the winners from every day, when we do it down the plaza, will come down here and compete for a silver belt buckle. Ready? Oh, look at this, man. Let's talk for one. Let's talk for one. Do that one, too. Hey, look at I just moved out to BC last week, but I lived here for 30 years.
For 30 years?
And I've been doing this now for, that's my pocket. This is my 24th year as a volunteer for Stampede. Every day down here at Fleur Road Square in Londonderry, we do 150 gallons of pancake batter a day and 500 pounds of bacon. And serve about 30,000 people during the week. What is happening now is the First Nations horse riders do a tour through the downtown, and they stop by a number of the hotels, and they eventually come back to join the dancers that go into the Fleur Road Square, or what was Olympic Plaza, and it's really for color more than anything else. And so it's part of the heritage here, and they're very much a part of the heritage of Stampede. The other parade is the old-time rigs, and most of them are replicas now of rigs that were built back in the early 1900s or beyond, and it gives visitors and Calgarians an opportunity to ride through the downtown in an old-time rig that is drawn by horses. The people are waiting here because they have tickets to go on the old-time rigs.
How much is such a ticket?
They don't cost anything. We use the tickets to control the numbers. So if you don't have a ticket, you're not getting on the wagon. And this way, in the past, we didn't have that, and people would be pushed out of the way. And this way, it's fair. With the old-time rigs, we have room for 98 adults. If there are children, you can probably add a few more on. The old-time wagons are owned by the Stampede, but the drivers bring their horses up for this event. The challenge here as well for many of the horses is that they've got to be comfortable with all of the surroundings here, the noise on the road, the distractions and that type of thing. So it's really important that they're skilled. The outriders, the ladies who will ride and the guys who ride outright, if anything happens, these guys know how to take care of it in a hurry.
Howdy to all our friends in the Netherlands. I'm Mike Casey, the President and Chairman of the Board of the Calgary Stampede. We are celebrating our centennial, 100 years in this city, celebrating Western heritage and values. And I know that our friends from the Netherlands have always come to visit us. We look forward to hosting you this year. We want to see you come in the future. We look forward to all of your support. Come and have a party with us and enjoy the greatest outdoor show on earth.
Well, that was it for this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And we're dependent solely on viewers like you for donations. So please go to our website, www.TulipTV, and click on donate if you'd like to support us. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Tot ziens.